The Augusta National invite gone horribly wrong. How a dream invitation ended up with nightmarish consequences. A story from Country Club Confidential. Overheard in the card room of a Texas country club is a tale of woe about an average Joe who got the opportunity of a lifetime and managed to blow it up like a 30 handicap playing the tips at Bethpage Black. Grab your popcorn, dear readers, because this story is about to take you on a wild ride through the fairways of poor decision-making. Joe McDuffer was an average golfer at an average mid-tier Texas golf club. He worked as an insurance salesman at a boring, faceless company, and things were going along just fine. Until one day, he landed a whale of a client that should have changed everything for the better, but somehow it didn't work out that way. This new client meant big commissions, but Joe soon found out that there was a bigger potential prize at the end of the rainbow. While he was on a call with his client's secretary, she let it slip that he was a member at Augusta National. Joe had heard the #1 rule about playing Augusta through the grapevine. The surest way to not get invited was to ask for an invitation, so he played it cool and filed away the information. Shortly thereafter, he began planning subtle hints designed to subconsciously reel in the most coveted invitation in golf. During the underwriting process, he would make casual references to the actuarial risks by comparing them to going for it on a short par 4 and comparing the monthly premium payments to membership dues. Okay, maybe his hints weren't that subtle. He wasn't sure if it was working or not, but he kept at it and made sure the deal went as smoothly as possible. As the deal neared its close, Joe made his move. He showed up to the final meeting sporting his prized Pinehurst polo, a fashion choice as understated as a pair of John Daly's pants. But lo and behold, it worked. The client, impressed by Joe's work, dropped the magic words, "How about I take you out for a round at my club next week?" Joe's heart skipped a beat. This was it, the golden ticket, the holy grail of golf invitations. He practically leapt out of his chair and accepted the offer, momentarily forgetting one tiny but pretty significant detail. His wife was 9 months pregnant and due any day. Joe found himself facing the ultimate dilemma. On one shoulder, a tiny angel in a green jacket whispered, "You never turn down an invitation to Augusta, no matter what." On the other, a slightly larger angel in scrubs, holding a baby, looked at him disapprovingly. Joe began to rationalize. It could be a one-day work trip, a quick 2.5-hour flight to Georgia, 18 holes of pure golf bliss, a celebratory drink, and then home before anyone even knew he was gone. It was possible, right? Right? As the big day approached and his wife's go bag inched closer and closer to the front door, Joe made his decision. He wasn't laying up. He was going to go for it. But dear reader, as you surely know, sometimes it's best to keep the 3 wood in the bag and play it smart. Will Joe carry the treacherous hazard and land safely on the green, or will his decision bring quadruple bogey into play? In a move that would make even the most committed golf addicts shake their heads, Joe had decided to roll the dice. He packed his bags, kissed his pregnant wife goodbye, and hopped on a plane faster than a golf ball launched by Bryson DeChambeau. His rationale? It's Augusta, honey. Augusta. But as any golfer knows, the golf gods are fickle beings with a wicked sense of humor, and Joe arrived at Augusta on a day when Mother Nature decided to play through. The skies opened up, unleashing a deluge that would make Caddyshack's Bishop Pickering cancel his tee time. The course was closed and there would be no golf that day. His host, feeling awful about the unexpected weather, tempted Joe yet again. "It is expected to be magnificent weather tomorrow. How about I put you up in one of the cabins and we try again?" Joe checked his phone and didn't see any missed calls. The devil on his shoulder pulled a driver from a golf bag and whispered, "See you at Ray's Creek tomorrow." The angel on the other side, thoroughly disgusted, threw in the golf towel and jumped off to find a soul that was actually worth saving. "Sounds great, sir," said Joe as he suddenly realized the difficult phone call that was awaiting him. Needless to say, the call to his wife didn't go well, but the next morning, the weather did. Joe opened the curtains to witness a sky similar to Ferris Bueller's and rhetorically asked, "How could I possibly be expected not to play Augusta on a day like this?" Joe arrived at the first tee and was greeted by his host. "See, I told you. The greens are nice and soft and the course is in perfect condition." As Joe set down his bag, he checked his phone to make sure the ringer was off and then saw the worst thing possible: 3 missed calls from his wife. This is when things went from bad to worse, as you'll soon see. When Joe explained his predicament to his host, hoping for understanding, he instead found himself on the receiving end of a verbal tongue lashing that would make Richard Pryor blush. His host, a man of traditional values and apparently little sympathy for golf-crazed fathers-to-be, berated Joe as if he'd just taken a mulligan on the first tee of the Masters. In between curse words, the host bellowed, "You left your 9 months pregnant wife for a round of golf," as his face turned a shade of red, usually reserved for Augusta's famous azaleas. "You're an embarrassment to yourself and undeserving of setting foot on these hallowed grounds." Faster than you can yell "Baba Booey" at a PGA Tour event, and hopefully you never do that, Joe found his invitation to play Augusta permanently revoked. He was sent packing with his tail between his legs, his golf dreams shattered like the window of a home 200 yards down the right side of a fairway. Joe rushed to the airport and managed to catch a flight back to Texas, arriving at the hospital just as his wife was being wheeled out of the delivery room. To say she was less than thrilled to see him would be like saying a quadruple bogey is a minor setback. The aftermath? Joe welcomed his beautiful baby girl into the world, but at quite a cost. He lost a valuable client who canceled the transaction, reversing a sizable commission, missed the birth of his child, and gave his wife enough ammunition to win arguments for the rest of their marriage, however long that might last. So, dear readers, what lessons can we glean from Joe's misadventure? Perhaps it's that while some are fond of saying golf is life, perhaps life sometimes has to come before golf? Or maybe it's simply this: don't plan on getting married and having kids until you've played Augusta National. Until next time, keep your head down, your left arm straight, and your priorities in check. Hello, friends. I would like to invite you to visit ccconfidential.vip. That's ccconfidential.vip for more captivating stories like this. And be sure to subscribe to the free weekly newsletter for more tales of intrigue and scandal from behind the guarded gates of private country clubs around the world. You'll be glad you did.